Hello all. As you know from watching these videos, I don't really like to do negative movie reviews. I don't really see much point to talking about movies you don't like when you could spend the same time talking about movies you do like. However, that said, I recently watched a video on somebody who was talking about popular movies that he didn't like or he didn't get the popularity of them. While I agreed with some, I disagreed with others. So I decided I'd talk about some of those too, and I'll give you a brief précis of why I didn't like these movies. Um, they were very popular at the time. They may have made a lot of money. That doesn't really matter to me. If I go to see a movie and I don't think it's good, for whatever reason, I don't care how much money it made. I like some movies that are like grade Z, look like they have a budget of about 5 cents. But if there's something funny or something interesting or, a well-written script, I may still like that movie anyway. Um, but some of them that were popular, I'm going to start with the one I dislike the most. And again, I'm going to give you a brief reason for it. If you disagree with me, that's fine. But Annie Hall from 1977, which, as you know, won the Best Picture Oscar, and we all know what picture deserved to win the Oscar that year and didn't, because the Academy is very prejudiced against genre films. They won't promote westerns, they won't promote science fiction, they won't promote fantasy, they won't promote horror, they won't promote detective movies or disaster movies. They only want drama, quote unquote. Well, I'm sorry, I do not think Annie Hall is a good movie at all. It's ridiculous. It's basically a 2 hour waste of time. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy the performances. I thought Diane Keaton was particularly bad in this movie. I like her. I like Diane Keaton and I like Woody Allen movies. I just didn't like this one. And I do not think it deserved to win the Oscar that year. Star Wars did. But again, the Academy is very snobbish when it comes to genre movies. Um, and still is. I'm really surprised that a couple of years ago, The Shape of Water won, because again, that was a genre film, and I'm really, really stunned that it won. Um, Another movie that was very popular, which I didn't really care for, was Avatar. Avatar is a very thinly veiled movie about colonialism. I just thought it was eh. They go through this whole big rigmarole about the Na'vi and explaining who they are and what they are, and then there's this big, mean corporation that wants to take their planet and steal all their resources. It just came off as like a big science fiction cliche to me. And again, I like James Cameron. I like some of the movies he's made. I just don't like this one. Um, yeah, again, made lots of money. I just didn't strike me as a very good movie. Number three is The Matrix. And yes, Wachowski brothers, I know you went to SF State at the same time as me, and I knew you stole that phrase from me, and one day I'm going to get an attorney and sue you. I used to say to my girlfriend, stay in flux with the Matrix. She asked me, what's that? I said, the Matrix is the underlying reality of things. So I know you guys stole that from me in around 1981, but that's not material. The reason I don't like it, there's a famous saying from Isaac Asimov. He said, if you're going to have good science fiction, you have to have good science and good fiction. The Matrix has good fiction, it does not have good science. Yeah, the idea that we may be living in a simulated reality is interesting. Philip K. Dick explored that in a lot of his novels, particularly The Three Stigmata of Palmer Eldritch, Ubik, and Counterclock World, all of which and also Eye in the Sky, all of it kind of pitched the idea of maybe the reality we're living in isn't real, and maybe it's an illusion. But the problem I had was this idea that there are these aliens who are using people as batteries. That is not good science. The human body generates very, very little electricity. It's a lousy battery, and that's not good science. Um, so that's one of the reasons I didn't like that one. The English Patient. I thought that was the most horrible, most boring movie I've ever seen. I kept saying, when is this guy going to die already? I'm sorry if that's one of your favorite movies. The performances are excellent, but it just was way, way too long. They could quite easily have cut an entire hour out of the movie and not lost a thing. But they just dragged it on and on and on to the point where, I wanted to leave the theater. quite frankly. I didn't, but I wanted to. Um, some other movies that I didn't like the movie Casino. I think it's too mean, and I don't like mean movies. I don't like the idea of, people beating up Sharon Stone for no particular reason. I also don't like mob movies. I don't think the mob are funny or cute or quirky. These are people who make their living out of human misery, and they're basically scumbags. And I don't think they should be adulated, in either the movies or on TV. I've never watched an episode of The Sopranos, and I'm never going to. Also, it denigrates New Jersey, and I'm from New Jersey, and I don't like that either. I don't watch Jersey Shore either. I think that's a terrible series about very vapid people. But that was one that I didn't care for, The Casino. Again, made a lot of money. People liked it. I disagree. I don't like it. Those are really the only ones that are on my. There's about 5 that I don't like. Again, like I said, I don't like doing negative reviews, but there are some. Just because a movie is popular doesn't mean I want to go see it. If I want to go see something, I want to be intrigued by the idea, or the people in it, or the script, or something that goes above and beyond simply the fact that the critics enjoyed it. One of the movies that was on this other guy's list was Citizen Kane. I completely disagree with that. Although I do not think it is the best movie ever made, I think it is one of them. Yeah, in fact, it's kind of boring. If you're not into the life story of Charles Foster Kane, who is a very thinly veiled version of William Randolph Hearst, which is why he became so very upset about the movie and tried to have it canceled. But if you're not interested in that, then you're not interested in the movie. They don't go into a lot of depth of his personality. They just show you things that unfold in his life. But I think that's okay, given the masterpiece that Citizen Kane is. I think, personally, the best movie ever made was 2001: A Space Odyssey. And I've been watching some videos recently on how it was made. It's just the meticulous, painstaking detail that Kubrick went to get every single shot perfect. Really, really, really pays off in the movie, I think. Yeah, again, the beginning scene, the Dawn of Man, is kind of boring. But if you sit through it, it has a good climax, and I think the whole movie is good. It's sort of interesting that the most human character in the whole movie was a computer. Kind of an very early warning about AI, because there really was no such thing as AI in 1968. But Kubrick somehow twigged that this might be coming. And of course, he worked with Arthur C. Clarke, who would have twigged that too. They wrote the script together. There's a misconception that it was based on a book that had previously been written by Clarke. That's not true. They wrote the book and the screenplay at the same time. So it's not based on the book. It's simultaneously produced with the book.